My name is Melvin Ishmael Johnson. I'm the artistic director of DramaStage Qumran workshop. We've been around for about 10 years down in the Skid Row area trying to provide theater, conscious theater to the downtown and Skid Row community.
And what do you mean by conscious theater?
When I say conscious theater, real community theater as opposed to commercial theater. DramaStage Qumran workshop is based upon two models, the community theater model and the Nasana model. And the anti-violence situation coping group is the last component of each one of these models. Basically what the anti-violence situation coping group is to put violent and potential violent situation under a microscope, under a community microscope, and these violent situations is looked at under this microscope and with the goal of the community coming up with a solution to these violent situations before
inside of the play.
Yes, inside of the playing area before they escalate into violence. We have a lot of veterans. We got brothers and sisters coming out of prison. Brothers and sisters just find themselves homeless. And what we try to do is to train them into practical areas that they can use in the theater, like stage manager jobs, lighting, sound, costumes. So we intern with a few of the theater companies around here in LA. We have interned with the Roby Theater Company.
Tell the people about the Roby Theater very briefly.
Roby Theater Company is a company that was founded by Ben Guillory and Danny Glover. They've been in existence for about 20 years and they really focus in on the African American lifestyle. They was inspired by the great revolutionary Paul Robeson.
Mm-hmm. And the name Roby?
Yeah, and the name Roby comes from, that was his nickname. When he was playing football, everybody called him Roby. I wrote a play called Surviving the Nickel. Where the Nickel is 5th Street that runs through the downtown Skid Row area. And that was one of the plays in which we included the anti-violence situation coping group as a dramatic technique within that play, within the arc of the play.
How it went. Yeah.
The main character, Malik, coming out of prison and trying to adjust back to life, and the threat of one of his best friends, who is off into the life, an individual named T. Roney Washington, that's still out there handling drugs. So the big challenge of Malik was whether he was going to try to use the right path, which could be slow in getting himself back together, or whether he was going to get involved with T. Roney for the big money and take another chance on same thing that got him sent to the prison. And
he overcame.
He overcame that in the end. That was a play that dealt with the homeless situation because we wanted to amplify what was happening down here in the homeless community, the Skid Row area. The other play about the prison hunger strike to bring attention to torture in solitary confinement. The name of the play is If the Shoe Fit, Voices from Solitary Confinement. And we compiled this with my fellow playwright, Andy Griggs, from the letters that we received from all of these brothers who have been in solitary confinement, some for over 40 years.
Where did you get the letters from?
Directly from these brothers.
Really?
Yeah, we have.
You never told me that before.
Yeah.
You got letters directly from people
Yeah.
in solitary confinement?
Solitary confinement.
Beautiful.
You must have had 300-400 letters, and we wove it down to about a 90-minute, probably a little less than 90-minute presentation. But the whole essence of it, the thing that drew me to it, is that I recognized that the majority of these brothers that was in solitary confinement were Black Panthers. Political prisoners, and probably the most famous was Herman Wallace and the Angola Three, who, and what makes this case so important is one of the Angola Three, because Herman Wallace died last year, one got out. The last person case was getting ready to go to the Supreme Court. And this would have forced the Supreme Court to make a decision on whether or not long-term solitary confinement was torture. So they made a deal with the brother and let him out, so he took the deal. And so right now it's back to the States. It popped back to the States until we get another case that can get all the way to the Supreme Court.
So first of all, let's explain to them the condition, the size of the room, how many hours.
The size of the room is about...
The loneliness, the whole condition.
It's about the size of a typical bathroom in a person's home, very small, and these individuals are in there for 23 hours a day.
Woo!
See, and some of the individuals who have been there for over 40-some years. And I recognize what came to the forefront for me is how brilliant, when you look at all of these individuals who had a chance to really clean up their mind, read, educate themselves, some brilliant brothers. And this is reflected in their analysis, their political analysis of the situations that's happening out here in the world. It was just amazing. So I really thought that If the Shoe Fit is a very important piece in terms of keeping the spotlight on that.
Highlight one of the letters in general.
Highlight one of the letters that I think about is this brother named Sean Swain, right?
He's in the play, I remember that.
Yeah, and Sean Swain, and the one that really resonated, a line that he had in there, is that I have been approved by psychological professionals that I'm sane enough to be driven insane. And I thought that was so amazing, but great work.
I shall not die. I shall not die 1,000 deaths of compromise, giving up names in exchange for food or blanket. I will bite my own arm to smother my screams and rob you of the satisfaction when you disassemble me. I shall not die shamefully, my chin against my chest, kneeling before the humiliating hole I dug for myself, waiting upon the pistol shot. I will always refuse the blindfold. I shall not die, abandoned and alone, obliterated from the memories of those I love. My fate never questioned. Someone will always stand in the rain outside your office window, my name on a cardboard sign. No matter how many times you cut my throat or hang me from my own bed sheet, bludgeon me with your nightstick or fire your bullets into my brain. Whether you encircle me in a South African Bantustan or a Coca-Cola factory in Bolivia, or an alley behind the stone wall, or a prison in the heart of it all, I shall not die. 1,000,000 times I shall not die. You will only get my court. My name is Sean Swain. All I have is this pen, this paper, and the truth. Please remember that I live.
I guess one of the most dangerous political thought came from George Jackson, who became a revolutionary in terms of studying revolutionary thought, historical Marxist thought, etc., like that. And he wrote two great books, Soledad Brothers and Blood in My Eyes. And even today, any particular gang member, if they catch you inside a prison with one of George Jackson's book, that would automatically, with one of George Jackson's book, like Soledad book, Brothers of Blood in My Eyes, or one of Huey's piece, Revolutionary Suicide, any of those pieces would allow you, as they consider that gang affiliation and stuff like that. So that's would get a person in solitary confinement for that. A lot of those
Never know when you can get out.
never know when you can get out, because they have these little indeterminate rules and stuff like that. But see, the whole essence was these particular individuals. When you look at most of the Panthers that they didn't outright assassinate on the outside, then they framed them up and put them in prison, and a lot of them they tried to kill in prison.
Before they caged the body, they caged the mind. They captured the soul by breaking the spirit with negative thoughts of nothing. Can you cage a thought or capture the wind? It's not the prison guards with guns, but inmates and convicts who refuse to become one. No positive light. The prisoner's cage, the locks of the mind, negativity and self-hate. A refusal to be a positive light. Jealous of the next person because he wants to live right. Like a person without sight, darkness into the middle of the night. The real prisons are scales of the mind, locks of negativity standing in place and marking time. Those who try to see positive thought, ask them why. Is it to hold you back? Without a doubt. But it is the system that caged the body. But first they caged the mind. You hold the key to a positive mentality. Free yourself with positive thoughts. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't let your dreams become a nightmare. Negative thoughts are prisoners of the mind, standing in place and marking time. Like the darkness of a soul, the ball of confusion, the truth must be told. Can't you see? Only the truth can make you free. Positive thoughts are healing for the soul. Free the mind and the body will follow. Before they cage the body, they cage the mind. It's not the prison guards with guns, but inmates and convicts who refuse to become one. Negative thoughts of nothing. Taking honey from a bee. Make you kill your brother because you failed to see. Look in the mirror and see yourself. You hold the key to a positive mentality. That's the key. So unlock the door and come back to me. Merge with the totality of mentality. Take a vacation from madness and truth and sadness. See the light, hope, and gladness. Days without nights. Can you cage a thought or capture the wind? It's all an illusion, but I'll say it again. Can you cage a thought or capture the wind?